.66% of United States residents' public water is fluoridated. It is known to have tremendous effects on bone cancer, joint problems, bone weakness, lowered estrogen and testosterone levels, and dental fluorosis, which is yellowing of the teeth and pitting in the enamel. Wouldn't it make more sense to enhance public water with vitamins which are meant to be ingested to promote overall health, rather than putting such a toxic chemical in our water with a bogus explanation that it will improve our dental health? We now know that fluoride causes more dental problems than it solves. Something doesn't seem right about this. Do you honestly believe that these companies care deeply enough for the people to spend large amounts of their own money to fluoridate public water when the people already purchase their own toothpaste? But there's a difference between toothpaste and drinking water. We don't ingest toothpaste. If you go to any hardware store and look at any rat poison product, you will only find one ingredient: sodium fluoride. It is the most toxic ionic molecule outside of potassium dichromate. Now Dannon, along with other companies, have begun fluoridating bottled water. It is becoming increasingly difficult to get away from. And the fact that fluoride is also used in many prescription antidepressants shows that it eliminates aggression and motivation in people.
Fluoride, to my knowledge as a physician, has absolutely no biological benefit whatsoever.
But one of the significant things is that the Russians carried out all sorts of experiments on people living in the Gulag. One of them, of course, was to fluoridate the water. Why? You fluoridate the water, why people are not as aggressive as they ordinarily would be. In fact, what is the active ingredient in Prozac that is so widely distributed in America today? Well, it's a fluoride compound.
And now, we are finding that public water nationwide is showing up with arsenic, lead, cadmium, and thermonium, which is a radioactive form of lead. Cancer, lowered sex drive, birth defects, sedation, and brain defects. Does this not sound like a wonder drug for anyone aiming to control a population?
It's quite astonishing, Paul, the degree to which environmentalists have not been educated about fluoride. You know, people have an unconscious trust in their doctor or their dentist, and if you can persuade doctors and dentists that fluoride is safe and good, then you're able to reach the rest of the nation. People believe their doctors and dentists, and that was a way of promoting fluoride for Bernays. Fluoride was killing their cattle, destroying their crops. Fluoride given to rats had produced bone cancer and liver cancer, and that those results had been doctored to make it look as though fluoride hadn't caused as much cancer.
The pattern that we saw, it typically is what we see with other neurotoxic agents that are well known to cause a hypoactivity or a memory problem or an IQ problem. When I first presented the results of these studies, one of the individuals sitting and listening to the results, he says, "Do you have any idea what you're saying?" And he says, "You're telling us that we're reducing the IQ of children." And basically I said, yes.
Water once again rears its ugly head. So why all the controversy if it's good for the teeth? Turns out the stuff in common tap water happens to be a sister compound to sodium fluoroacetate, a common form of rat poison. According to studies by the Case Institute, the byproduct of phosphate mining, in which they make fertilizer and laundry detergent, is liquid fluoride. So toxic it costs $7 grand a barrel to bury. Now, in bed with the government, companies can avoid expensive burial costs by diluting fluoride in city water supplies, saying that fluoride has huge dental benefits. Well, indeed, minute doses directly applied to a tooth may help that bothersome cavity. But in reality, tap water goes directly down the throat and through the body's major organs. Liver and kidneys then receive, ready for this? Lead, cadmium, phosphorus, selenium, mercury, silver, chromium, arsenic, and uranium-238, radioactive by the way. One unfortunate side effect of fluoride in the bloodstream is that within 50 to 90 minutes, human skin begins to absorb toxins from the air, along with some household cleaning compounds when touched. Ironically, in the shower, skin probably absorbs more fluoride than drinking tap water alone. Is the fluoride problem a new phenomenon? No. By World War II, farms, cattle, plants, and fish were dying from the toxic byproduct of common aluminum production, sodium fluoride. But here in Los Angeles, the city of Santa Monica has already taken fluoride out of their drinking water, and city after city in the Northeast are following suit. Canadian research now shows fluoride can cause cancer when consumed in tap water over the course of years. So how does big business get away with dumping this toxic glunk into our city water? Turns out the federal government subsidizes it by giving block grants of up to $100 grand for cities to start adding fluoride to their tap water. An EPA source told me the chemical companies joke, the solution to pollution is dilution. Better to poison a lot of people a little than a few people a lot. Then it'd be really obvious. Looks like Brita filters and plenty of bottled water, at least for me. And I don't mean to be a bummer here, but I care about you, and we can't rely on newspapers and entertainment reporters to dole out the goods. You do have a choice if you want this stuff in your water. You can call your mayor. After all, we all have a right to be safe and healthy, and to choose what we put into our precious bodies.
Aspartame is an artificial sweetener, an additive, and it's a chemical. It's not a natural product, it's a chemical. The molecule is made up of three components. Two are amino acids, the so-called building blocks of protein. One is called phenylalanine, which is about 50% of the molecule. And the other is aspartic acid, which is like 40%. The other 10% is a so-called methyl ester, which as soon as it is swallowed, becomes free methyl alcohol, methanol, wood alcohol, which is a poison, a real poison.
Developing a society because of all of these different toxins known to affect brain function. We're seeing a society that not only has a lot more people of lower IQ, but a lot fewer people of higher IQ. In other words, a dumbing down, a chemical dumbing down of society. So everyone's sort of mediocre. That leaves them dependent on government because they can't excel. We have these people with lower IQ who are totally dependent. Then we have this mass of people who are going to believe anything they're told because they can't really think clearly. And very few people of very high IQ who have good cognitive function who can figure this all out. And that's what they want. So, you know, you can kind of piece it together as to why they are so insistent in spending so many hundreds of millions of dollars of propaganda money to dumb down society.